Namaskar students. We are discussing about chemical bond, and in our previous lecture we have been already studied about what is the differentiation between or what is the difference between covalent and ionic bond and how they formed, how mainly they form in different condition. And we also discuss specifically coordination bond. So in this lecture, remaining bond called metallic bond, and remaining two still we have to learn, that is secondary bond. And in this bond we also discuss hydrogen bond and van der Waals force of attraction. So let us start metallic bond. Okay. So you can see in this slide, so first of all we should understand what is metallic bond. So actually metal, as we know that specifically bond is formed between two atoms. So based on that we can differentiate also. Suppose if I say the ionic bond is formed between one metal and one non-metal. While in the case of covalent bond, so covalent bond is formed between two non-metal or non-metal plus uh, semi-metal. But if I say the bond is formed between two metal, the bond is formed between the metal, it is known as metallic bond. So you can now differentiate how different type of bond is formed. So based on that, or based on atom, or we can say based on metal or non-metal, we can classify or we can understand particular type of element will form specific bond. Suppose if I say the metallic bond is formed between two non-metal. Now the question is, why metal are formed metallic bond? So first reason to answer this question, the first reason is, as we know that metal have a tendency to lose electron easily, as we discussed in ionic bond. Metal have a tendency to lose electron easily. First thing. Second thing is, metal have a metal have a maximum either 1, 2 or 3 valence electron. Metal have a maximum 1, 2 or 3 valence electron. So we can say that metal can lose 1 electron, either 2 or 3. So this is the two reason which is responsible for the formation of metallic bond. Now how bond is formed, and after forming the metallic bond, what things we can see. So first let us try to understand with the help of this figure. Then only we can able to understand. But if before understanding this figure, first of all we also discuss, suppose if we take any element, or suppose if we take any metal, so any metal or any atom have a nucleus, we all know, and in specific orbit electron are revolving, right? This is the things for one element. Suppose if we draw about second element, similarly same thing. Suppose if we consider three different atoms, we can draw like this for atom B, or second another we can see similar atom, but second atom matlab number of atom is second and third. So as we know that atom have a nucleus and electron is revolving around a specific orbit. But in the case of metal, so metal have a tendency to lose electron easily, tendency to lose electrons easily, right? So that is why what will happen, suppose if metal is lose one electron, it can lose more than one electron as well. So if we lose one electron, then it will become, after losing it, converted into cation as we discussed in our previous lecture. So it will become cation. But what will happen in metallic bond, here the tendency of metal is it can lose electron easily. So that is why for one atom and its electron which is present in specific orbit, which can transfer to another orbit or another atom orbit, and this atom contain electron transfer into another. So this is continuing process is already happening in the case of metal ion. That means electron is continuously transferring from one orbit to another atom, and finally what will happen, it can generate one electronic pool. It is known as C electron pool. So you can see this is atom A, B, C, matlab many uh, metal ion is present. So electron is transferring from one orbit to another atom orbit, because it require a very few amount of energy. So that is why it can transfer easily, and finally this thing is continuously proceeding. So that is why the C of pool will be generated, and remaining the positive charge which is present, and it is known as metal kernel, which is known as metal kernel, right? While in the case of this phenomena is already happening in metal ion, or specifically in metal. So in this case, two atom which is attract or which can form the bond is known as metallic bond. While in the case of two metal, this thing is happening, but for this specifically phenomena, in this case, two metal are attract to each other, and this type of attraction is known as metallic bond. So you can see here, if we consider its definition, then what definition it says for metallic bond. You can see here. So lose electron and gain the stability. Nature, as we discussed, highly electropositive means it can lose electron easily. After this electrons lost by, that means after losing or after transferring one orbit to another, it lose electron and it exists in a free electron, in a free state. So that is why we can call them free electrons. And the free electrons of all the metal atoms to form electron pool, as we saw in this figure. You can see in this figure, it will form electron pool. After that, the resulting positively charged metal ion are believed to have together by electrons pull, and the force of attraction that exists between mobile electrons and metal ion is known as metallic bond. As we already discussed in this slide, two metal ion which is hold together by C electronic pull, and this type of attraction is known as metallic bond. So this is how metallic bond is formed. And specifically this bond is observed in mainly between the metal. Suppose if we take example of silver, copper, gold, zinc, etc. So the bond between two metal, it is known as metallic bond, and this is how the metallic bond is formed. Simply the bond is formed between two metal, and what will happen, so this type of whole phenomena is occur in metallic bond, and in this case two metal are held to each other by metallic bond. Now let us come next bond. We discuss four bond, that is covalent bond. We already discussed in chemical bond there is a two type of bond. One is primary or strong bond, and second one is secondary, right? In primary we discuss four bond: covalent bond, secondly ionic bond, third coordination bond, and fourth metallic bond. Now we are going to discuss secondary bond. So in this case we are going to study van der Waals force, van der Waals force of attraction, and second one hydrogen bond. Second one is known as hydrogen bond. So let us try first to understand van der Waals force of attraction. Now again this is another types of covalent bond, but specifically this van der Waals force of attraction which is occur between specifically two non-polar molecules. The van der Waals force of attraction which is occur between two non-polar compound, as we already studied what is polar and what is non-polar in our previous lecture, right? Now in van der Waals force, the weak force which exists between covalent molecule are known as van der Waals force. As we discussed, this type of force is specifically exist in between two covalent, but two covalent means two non-polar covalent molecule, right? It exists in between two non-polar molecules. So is this type of bond or attraction is known as van der Waals force. It is also due to the, specifically if you want to understand why van der Waals force of attraction is occur. Suppose if we take one molecule A, or we cannot draw like this, but we can draw like this. Molecule A. Suppose molecule A have a central charge or positively charged and molecule B have negative charge. So the attraction force of will be occur. So this type of attraction is known as van der Waals force of attraction. So for in molecule A for positively charged and in molecule B for their negatively charged. So the force of attraction will be occur. So this type of attraction is known as van der Waals force of attraction. This type of force is known as van der Waals force of attraction, and which is also occur in between non-polar molecule. Non-polar molecule or non-polar atom. Suppose all noble gas or I2, we can say Cl2 or graphite, etc. So in all the case, we can say van der Waals force of attraction between the molecule. So this is how van der Waals force of attraction will occur in the molecule, right? And finally, this is largely but not completely neutralized by electrostatic force of repulsion of electrostatic of molecule by electron of other or molecule by. What he is saying is, for one molecule nucleus are positively charged and for another molecule for their negative charge, and the positive and negative in between positive and negative charge the force of attraction will be occur, and this type of force of attraction is known as van der Waals force. After the resultant weak force of attraction between two molecules are known as van der Waals force of attraction, as we already discussed. But one thing what we should learn is, in van der Waals force of attraction, that is very weak as compared to chemical bond. So that is why we are not call them bond, we call them forces. So when we start this chapter, at that time I told sometimes for attraction we can call simply forces, or we can based on attraction sometimes bond also formed, right? So what is the difference between bond and force? So bond is permanent, while in the case of force is not permanent, it is like secondary. That is why we divide it into two parts. One is primary, that is known as all bond, while in the case of secondary we use word, right, force. So that is why we use word force is here. Because of that this type of attraction will come into secondary types of bond. But in this case again different kind of attraction will be occur. So what this type of attraction is known as dipole-dipole attraction. So what is dipole? So as we already discussed in our previous lecture, we already discussed in covalent bond. As we discussed in covalent bond is again subdivided into two parts. One is polar covalent bond and second one is non-polar. So in the case of bipolar, because the interaction will be occur in between two. So how it occur, let us understand with the help of one example. Suppose if we take one example, that is HCl. So you can see here the electron negativity difference between two elements because both are different. So as we discussed, when two different electronegative element is formed bond, at that time the charge separation will be occur. That means the bond pair electron will attract toward the more electronegative atom. So here chlorine is a more electronegative atom. That means the bond pair or bond electron which is attract toward the more electronegative element. Okay, and if this kind of phenomena is occur, then partially negative charge lies on chlorine atom or more electronegative atom, and partially positive charge lies on more electropositive atom when bond is formed between two different electronegative. So in this case the charge separation is occur and polarity will be occur, right? So that is why we known as dipole. So if we take again second molecule of HCl, then same phenomena will occur. Here partially negative charge lies on more electronegative atom and partially positive charge will occur on more electropositive atom. So in this case the charge separation also occur. Then how dipole-dipole interaction is occur? Because both the molecule have a dipolar species. That means we can see that in the molecule the polarity or charge separation will be occur. So specifically in this type of molecule, what will happen? Here partially negatively charged of one atom or one molecule, and for another atom have a partially positive charge. So as we already know, the attraction will be always show in between positive and negative charge. So this kind of attraction will be occur between these two molecules, which is also known as dipole-dipole interaction. So why dipole? Because both molecules are dipolar species. So this kind of phenomena occur in between two molecules, which is known as dipole-dipole interaction. So you can see what is dipole-dipole attraction or interaction. Here polar covalent molecules, the unequal charge of bonded electron pair partially charge separation will be or charge separation within the molecule, as we already discussed. When the bond is formed between two different electronegative atom, so in this case charge separation will occur. Now what happen if charge separation is occur? See, the molecule with opposite partially charge is called dipole. That means in molecule the opposite charge will be generated, and the opposite charge is known as dipole, means two pole. One is positive charge and one is negative charge. The opposite charges of align with each other. Force of attraction oppositively charged and dipole are known as dipole-dipole attraction. As we discussed, for one dipole molecule or in one dipolar molecule in their positive or negative charge, and for another dipole molecule for their positive and negative charge, the attraction will be occurring between positive and negative charge, and this type of attraction known as dipole attraction. These attraction are much stronger than van der Waals force of attraction. In the case of we compare the dipole-dipole interactions and van der Waals interaction, so this type of interaction will stronger because of high charge lies on different electron negativity. As we discussed in HCl molecule, right, H will become partially plus del and HCl will become partially minus del because the electron negativity of chlorine is higher than hydrogen, and in this case the dipole-dipole interaction will be occur. We can take another example also, but I can say simply if two dipolar molecule will or in molecule dipolar is generated, so in this case dipole-dipole interaction will be occur or it will shows in dipolar molecules or so for in deeply study or if we understand this type of concept in deep, then we will study in our higher standard. But in this case what we should know is dipole-dipole means two dipole two dipolar molecule between if the attraction is occur in between two dipolar molecule, then this type of attraction is known as dipole-dipole attraction. Now again remaining last chemical bond is known as hydrogen bond, but before going to hydrogen bond just listen here what I told. The second type of secondary bond is known as in hydrogen bond one atom should be hydrogen, matlab one atom or molecule hydrogen atom must be required. And secondly more electronegative element, more electronegative element, and that is mainly fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen and sometimes chlorine as well. When in molecule one hydrogen atom and another atom is fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen or chlorine is present, then hydrogen bond will form. So how it form? Just try to understand. So the condition of hydrogen bond is one atom should be hydrogen and another atom should be more electronegative. That means the electronegativity of atom should be high. Suppose if we take water molecule, H2O. So in H2O molecule, hydrogen bond is formed. Suppose if we draw like this, then this molecule contain one hydrogen atom. Right, this atom contain hydrogen atom. While in the case of other water molecule, so in this case more electronegative atom will occur or it contain more electronegative atom. It contain more electronegative element. So in between the hydrogen bond is formed. Why? Because you can see the electronegativity difference between two elements, and here that is why partially positive charge lies on hydrogen atom and partially negative charge comes on more electronegative element. Similarly here same phenomena will occur. Similarly partially negative charge will occur in oxygen atom and partially positive charge will lies on hydrogen atom. So here the difference between charge will occur. So that is why this type of in this case the attraction will be occur between positive charge and negative charge. Here the positively charged is hydrogen atom and negatively charged is oxygen atom. So in this case the attraction will be shows, but this type of specific attraction is known as hydrogen bond. Right, so in this case many hydrogen form will, in this molecule, many hydrogen bond will form. This type number of infinite hydrogen bond will form. So this type of attraction will occur between hydrogen atom and more electronegative element. So it is known as hydrogen bond. So this is how hydrogen bond in form in molecule. But one thing what we should understand is molecule must contain hydrogen atom and molecule must contain more electronegative atom, right? And that is mainly fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. Here we discuss water molecule. If we discuss other molecule, then we can get more clarity about hydrogen bond. But before going to understand next molecule, what hydrogen bond, what we should learn, just we will discuss about its theory. We already discussed this force of attraction that holds hydrogen atom of one molecule of the highly electronegative atom of the other molecule is known as hydrogen bond. As we discussed, in one molecule is hydrogen atom and in another molecule which is more electronegative atom and which hold together specific interaction. So this type of interaction or bond is known as hydrogen bond, right? So you can understand, we already understand in water molecule, you can see there are many hydrogen bond is formed. So here where hydrogen bond is formed, you can see here hydrogen bond is formed, here you can form, and hydrogen bond which is present by this type of dot line or as well as this type of dotted line. Both are correct, right? So here in water molecule many hydrogen form, you can see in this slide. But if another example, it is known as HF molecule, right? In HF molecule you can see here similarly in these two element the difference of electronegativity will be occur. So in this case fluorine have a high electronegative element or more electronegative element. So that is why the partially negative charge lies on fluorine atom and partially positive charge lies on hydrogen atom. But what will happen in one molecule is more electronegative element, that is fluorine, and another HF molecule, in this case hydrogen atom. So the electrostatic interaction will be occur, and if this type of attraction will occur, specifically hydrogen atom and more electronegative element, so known as hydrogen bond. So there are many hydrogen bond is you can see here. So this is how we can understand hydrogen bond in a molecule as well. Suppose if we take another example in ammonia case. So in ammonia case, you can see the structure of ammonia will be like this. So in this case, hydrogen also present and nitrogen also present. So in one molecule is hydrogen and another molecule is more electronegative element. So in this case, the hydrogen bond will form because here partially positive lies on hydrogen atom and partially negative charge lies on nitrogen atom. So here also hydrogen bond will form. So you can see continuously in ammonia molecule hydrogen bond will be formed or hydrogen bond will be occur, or we can say hydrogen bond in ammonia molecule. So the concept is hydrogen bond mainly is formed in between hydrogen atom and more electronegative element, and this is how hydrogen bond is formed. So this is all our example and you have to try yourself. Now remaining topics other than bond which is known as redox reaction. Here you cannot see but I write redox reaction, right, because it goes to behind the bar. It's known as redox reaction. So now the question is what is redox reaction? But before starting redox reaction, let us recall what we learned in our previous lecture. We learn about specifically we start from bond, how bond is occur. That means basic introduction about the bond, and then we will gradually understand, or we already understand about primary bond firstly and then secondary bond. In primary bond we discuss 4 type of bond, and in secondary bond we discuss about 2 type of bond, and this is finally last topic in our chapter, that is redox reaction. So what is redox reaction? So this type of specific reaction, oxidation and reduction occur simultaneously, or we can say oxidation and reduction occur specifically in same reaction is known as redox reaction. Oxidation and reduction must be required. Oxidation and reduction reaction will be occur in same reaction. Oxidation and reduction occur in same reaction is known as redox reaction, right? So before understanding redox reaction, let us discuss what is oxidation and what is reduction. We all know, or we all familiar with the word oxidation and reduction. We already studied in our previous standard as well, right? But based on that, based on different thing, we can also says this reaction is oxidation and this reaction is reduction. But mainly in this concept, what concept we are going to study to understand oxidation and reduction process. So here the concept is based on electron transfer. Now how electron transfer? So while redox reaction is occur, in this case what will happen, one element or one molecule will donate the electron and another molecule or atom will gain the molecule. So based on that, transfer of electron donating or electron gaining processes occur. So based on that, if in oxidation case atom will lose one or more electron, or atom can or molecule can, atom or ion or molecule whatever, it lose or donate one or more electron. So this process is known as oxidation. So based on electron losing or donating, we can identify this reaction will be oxidation, or this reaction at least will be reduction, right? So firstly we can classify redox reaction into 2 ways. One is oxidation and another is known as reduction. So the redox reaction will be classified, or we can say based on transfer of electron, we can divide it into 2 parts. One is oxidation and another is known as reduction. So in oxidation reaction, electron will be donated. That means donation of electron will be occur, or it release the electron. It release the electron, or atom or ion which is accept the electron or gain the electron, accept the electron. So this process is known as reduction process. So you can see during the chemical reaction, if atom or ion gain one or more electron, it is known as atom. It is known as reduction. While in the case of oxidation, Here, if atom or ions will lose one or more electron, then the atom, then the molecule, or then the in this case, the reaction is known as oxidation process, or oxidize or reduction process will be takes place in same chemical reaction. We can call redox reaction. Okay, so this is how, based on transfer of electron, we can divide oxidation and reduction, right? So in redox reaction, the oxidation reduction will occur simultaneously. But in this case, again, here we can, if oxidation and reduction process will be occur in the same time. So again, based on that, we can divide it, one molecule is oxidant or oxidizing agent and another known as reducing agent. Now, how we can define oxidizing agent and reducing agent? So molecule, if molecule or ion or atom, or specifically atom or ion, if I discuss about molecule, it can divide it into oxidizing agent and reducing agent. If I call this atom or ion or molecule which is behave as a oxidizing agent, then what will happen? It oxidize other, and itself reduce. Here, in the case of reducing agent, it reduce the other and itself oxidize. I think these things are reverse. Itself oxidize. This known as reducing agent. Now suppose if we take one example, it form FeS. Now if you want to decide Fe will behave as a reducing or oxidizing agent, or sulfur behave as a oxidizing and reducing agent, how we can define? Firstly, in this case, Fe is oxidized and it lose 2 electron and it convert Fe plus 2, and this process is known as oxidation, right? Second process is sulfur will accept 2 electron and reduce, it convert S minus 2 ion, and this process is known as reduction. So you can see in both the case, you can see in this case of oxidation and reduction, here iron is oxidized. That means itself what will happen is oxidize. What will happen? Itself oxidize. If the element is oxidized itself, then it behave as a reducing agent. You can see in this case of sulfur, sulfur का इधर ऑक्सीडेशन हो रहा है, that means here sulfur is in this case of sulfur the reduction will be happen. So if the atom is reduced, here you can see itself reduced, then it behave as oxidizing agent. So we can say here iron will occur, so iron is shows, or iron will behave as a reducing agent or reductant, and sulfur will behave as a oxidizing agent. So this is how, based on that, we can define based on oxidation and reduction will occur, we can identify it behave as a reducing or oxidizing agent. So this is how we can understand redox reaction. But you can see in this reaction, oxidation and reduction occur in the same reaction. So this reaction is known as redox reaction, right? So with this, we will conclude this chapter. Okay, and now in our next lecture, we will meet with another concept. But now I think you get some clarity about the chemical bond and redox reaction. This concept is very, very important with respect to understand or building the concept of chemistry. Same concept you will learn in standard 11th. Okay, धन्यवाद.